divine preacher. And you're right. We are what we are. And it's time that I remembered how much I do love you. Son.
Dad.
In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I'm needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey, everybody, we are back Thursday. Another special show for Blurred's Eye View. I am your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, thank you for watching us. We'd like to leave you entertained, encouraged, and educated. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us, this is your first time. Thank you for showing your love on the YouTube channel. Remember to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Watch us everywhere you watch it on television by going to Roku and Amazon Fire through Always Press Record. Thank you for Trey Lawson out there for giving us a chance and putting hands on us and saying, you know what, I need you guys for this type of show. Listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast, including Opulence Radio and everywhere you listen to your podcast. Shout out to Amron Burnett over at Opulence Radio. But before we really start, because today is Secret Invasion. We're talking Secret Invasion. So I can't do this without my squad, as usual. I wouldn't be here without them. Here we go. Lady Mandalore. Mute. You got to get a hold of the mute.
Damn it, I love you all. I'm so happy to be here. I do not understand. It's not me. Like at some point it ain't me.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
No. I know it wasn't you. It was me. It was me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Our resident griot of horror, Lainey of Geek by Heart. Look,
we're twins.
It's like she's trying not to giggle.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
It's not you, Sue. It's not you, boo. It's not you.
It's
everybody else, not you.
Yeah. Yep. This time
we're talking scrolls, so
okay.
It happens. We got the resident computer. We'll be watching our very own cinematic assassin. What's going on?
Hey, listen, I got too many public service announcements, but number one, the only thing within arm's reach is this here McDonald's Sunday. So if somebody sends something wild to cure, it wasn't me. Number two, the griot of horror is a fire nickname.
That is good. That is good.
I think
three,
what Chris said and what Will said also, I think I have my taglines.
Listen, number three, to all my introverts out there, are you aware that your child can be an extrovert? Think about it before just throwing it out there.
I feel like there's a story behind this.
It's always
no. Yes.
The lies. That is such a random thing.
It's so out of the
There's
blue.
definitely a story behind this.
Oh yeah,
It's so out of the blue.
a recent story at that.
Yes.
Like
Right.
5 minutes ago.
And like clockwork, every single time.
The hands. The
Like
hand knows.
The ship's mechanic.
Good
Keeping
evening.
it together, Black Spartan. What's
I
going
mean,
on?
we don't drink. I got Baileys.
Hey, y'all can have it. Kira was on mute from Jump Street, so that made my night immediately.
That's my new tagline: utter silence and incompetence.
Utter
You said incompetence or competence?
Incompetence.
No. Utter silence and competence.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Either
way, it's not helpful.
Who, all I gotta say is who's gonna take another ride on the mute train? Was it Lainey or was it gonna be Kira?
You shut your mouth.
You know what?
It's probably gonna be me because I'm trying to get onto my my Wi-Fi.
Oh Lord. So, how's everybody's couple days been? It's only been since Tuesday. It's been like a day, but we always talk in the chat and stuff. So we got our theories.
Mm-hmm.
Canada's on fire again.
Yeah, I know. Up here in Cleveland, it's been smoky for the past 2 days. I'm waiting for the Terrigen mist to kind of kick in right now.
Welcome to it. Welcome to it.
I think by the time BlurCon rolls around next week, it should just level itself out. We should all have powers by that time. Who knows? That's my guess.
All I gotta say, if I hear one familiar laugh, I almost say it's run.
I would say DC over at What the Shit literally said, he said, Canada smoked my ass. I know a Joker subplot when I see one.
That kind of makes sense.
And I was just like, you know what? That logic it lines up. It lines up. So
I look like a guy that has a plan.
Yo, that was really kind of spot on.
I haven't done it in a while, but I've been on the Con Crunch train. I've been putting my prop together.
Nice.
Just scrambling to get this thing put together, and it's not even primed yet. So, but it was slowly being built. It'll be built by the time we get down to BlurCon. Speaking of BlurCon, guess what? We're at BlurCon. We got a panel at BlurCon, July 8th at the Kennedy Room at 8:30 p.m. That's going to be on Saturday. You want to be there. Representation, POCs and representation in media, geek news, and one crazy ass game show with giveaways.
Ooh.
There's more.
Oh,
There's always more.
bodies that will leave on the floor.
On the
What
floor.
day y'all cosplaying? Because like, am I going to be on the panel just like dressed mad regular?
Yes.
You can be the only casual one out the bunch.
And y'all going to be cartoon characters?
So me and Kira are doing number 1 and number 5, respectively, from Kids Next Door. Actually, and Tafari is doing number 4. So
We got one.
All right, I'm a child, so I just
I'm not saying you could be kooky and be number.
Nobody's
3.
number 2, Will.
Yeah.
I was about to say I know how to do a number 2.
Well, what is your number anyway?
Me?
Will, are you doing? You're 3.
He is number. Yeah, he's full of. I mean,
He can be 2.
There's so much pause right now.
You know, I mean, you can scramble up a aviator's hat and some goggles real quick. You know.
oh yeah.
No, I don't have siblings, but I would be the terrible sibling. It's like y'all gonna be kids next door and not show up as like Nick Fury. Like I'm that person. That's what I got.
I don't like it.
That tracks.
A new
Yeah,
one.
that don't make sense. They'd be like, "Wait, are you Chris Fury?" No, I'm Chris Fury. He's Nick Fury. There's a difference.
He's a scroll.
The kids next door are Nick Fury. Yes, I've come with a new initiative.
It actually makes sense. It's like, okay, he would recruit these kids.
We're going young.
It's Secret Warriors 2.0.
Inspired by James Gunn.
Inspired by James Gunn, right? Oh, we just gave them all types of crazy ideas just now.
All you
This is
missing
a hell
is
of a
the
ride. I'm not gonna pay for it either.
soundtrack.
Oh my god.
You just need the right song to go with it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. I finally caught up on Superman and Lois.
Man.
Damn.
Right.
They're good. Two instances where they've gotten Doomsday right on television. And this was one of them. The other version was Krypton. And I'm just like, and yes, some of the origins are changed up, of course, because it's a very complicated origin anyway.
Yeah.
But the end result, beautiful.
I just love the fact of seeing Abraham as Lex Luthor. I was concerned at first, but
I was wondering how he was going to spin that.
Mm-hmm.
And he did I was just like, I don't hate this.
I like it. Just the fact a methodical Luthor, like you know what? You got to have a hell of agenda to walk out of prison to your arch enemy's doorstep and then be like, I just want you to retire. Motherfucker, you just walked like 40 miles and then got picked up.
He timed that. He was like, all I need is my watch. And I'm walking out the door. He walked right out the gate.
If that was not the greatest sync use of Uber I've ever seen in my life, where Otis like, you right on time, Otis. Otis is like, bruh, I could have picked you up from prison. We could have went. You could have done your stick. We could have left.
So
now I got killed twice.
I can never remember his name, but he played Abraham on Walking Dead.
I can't think of his name.
I know you're talking about Elise.
Yeah, but he's playing Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. And I'll be damned, it's really good. Like, it's scary good. Like they show him in prison because they slowly built up to him showing up. Uh-huh. They show him in prison, and when I say take the big dog down first, did it without lifting a Michael Cutters.
Michael Cutters was his name. I had to look it up real quick.
He did it without lifting a finger.
Mm-hmm.
He did it Lex Luthor style. Like, okay.
But
and he called out every last one of them. He was like, you're going to lose your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to walk. Those clippers are going to be mine, and so is that cell.
Mm-hmm. But the funny part about that whole thing came straight out of Superman's legacy.
Yeah.
That's all I was like, you mother. I was like, it took me a while to recognize, like, wait a minute, he's using dude as a seat, and he's got the whole mother. I've seen this before.
No, this is what he does. He does. Lex is sitting there because the guy he said you're going to lose your teeth actually ends up becoming his waiter. He was just like, what would you like, Mr. Luthor? He has no front teeth. His fronts are gone. And because he called it. He's like, his fronts are gone.
I was mad because why did it have to be the biggest brother in the yard?
It had to be the brother.
Him sound like Bobby Boucher.
He said the food will be ready in 20. And then next Lex does like this. He's bow, bow, bow. He was like, I had to adjust my seat. This motherfucker was sitting on somebody's back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, we that Lex.
Which I am not mad about that at all. I am really glad they did do that. That's why I was like, because we were worried about how he would come off, because again, we love Michael Kunis and Abraham the Walking Dead. That is a lovable character from that genre, but to see him translated to Lex Luthor in a different genre, in a different show, man, pulled it off. I give him credit for that.
So far as listing goes for best Lexes in live action, Michael Rosenbaum and now Michael Cutters.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That is a bold statement, sir.
So I mean, he's bringing. John Cryer didn't do a bad job. He really didn't.
Yeah.
But it was a different. He was still methodical, but he was a different type of Luthor. But I didn't hate it. I was surprised that he pulled it off.
It was a little dry.
Yeah.
A little dry.
I mean, his typical villain speech, especially the one he gives to Tom Welling during the Crisis crossover, was actually hilarious.
Yeah. It wasn't bad now, but I guess for Michael Cutters, he's more of the more physical. Like he's like he is physically towering, but it's more of a mental game. Like he could go hands with you, but
He's like a slimmed down version of Kingpin.
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting.
That's the best way to put it.
Because Kingpin is like that. You know, they just see, oh, he's a fat guy. He can't move that fast. Wrong.
Yeah.
That ain't fat. That's all muscle.
Only 2% of my
He's actually kind of fast. Bless you.
Damn.
Yeah, you know, so he's one of those.
Yeah.
He's one of those. So
He sounds like what is it? The animated series Lex Luthor.
pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. Because animated Lex from Justice League and all those, he had a bit of a towering presence, you know, and he got physical on something. He got physical when he needed to, but it was very rare.
That smug attitude was there. Like, this man is beneath me. Who are you? Or Mercy, is this man on my appointment? I'm the chief of police. Did I ask you? I was like, damn.
So it's definitely. I like how they're lining this up because they said that it is going to be a season 4. They're taking over to Max.
But they're gonna.
But we know.
They're gonna kill the budget, and it's gonna suffer because of it.
Well, hell, they got rid of 90% of the cast.
I was gonna say they cut a lot of the shows. They might actually bump the budget up. They might just redirect the money that they're saving and put some of it into that show.
When does that ever?
It's a better production crew.
True.
I mean, you figure if it's going to Max, look at the shows that they had on Max. They didn't do bad as far as their graphics department. So,
I mean,
and then like I said, it started off being one cast member. The next, you know, it was like, oh no, everybody's getting.
But I will say this, because the first when I saw the cast members being removed, I'm like, okay, we can start kind of going down the list of, okay, their story wasn't integral. Their story wasn't integral. Their story was integral. Steel had to go.
That one shocked me.
I'm like,
that one shocked me. I'm like, you're getting rid of Steel?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You're getting rid of Lana and her ex-husband and their kids. Let's wipe the floor with them. You know, General Lane. I got it.
Not as impactful as he once was. Right?
Yeah, he was just kind of like, it's my grandson. I just need to. Here's a suit, you know, and then he walks off. You know, but it's like.
I mean, I was thinking about that. It's like a lot of the extra cast members. Yeah, they can go because we're cutting off the CW drama. I completely understand that because you're cutting out. I mean, a lot of those characters there were just necessary to keep the CW happy. Okay, cool. I'm still worried because of how they left the season, and you're going to give us a final season in 4, which again is a question mark since it's going to Max. That's why I'm worried about the fact of, will the writing be hindered? Will, you know, everything that because me and Chris have said this before. Superman and Lois is probably one of the better written shows that have come out of the CW and are still consistent past a certain season. Because, I mean, Flash was good up until a certain season. Arrow was good up until a certain season. You know, rinse and repeat. So that's why I was worried about the fact of it going to Superman and Lois. I'm like, I have concerns.
I mean, I hope they don't just go lazy with it. Like I said, they cut a good portion of their cast. So like Lady Mandel said, they could very well take a portion of that budget, feed it into special effects, you know, better writing, whatever. We know this our last season. We're going out with a bang.
Right.
Type of situation.
I think the other thing, because ever since I found this out, I can't help but say, ever since they got bought out by that other company, the CW got bought out by that other company who was producing
they're going a different route.
History of Jesus on Sunday programming. I kind of get a sense of why they may need to move it to Max.
I finally saw what you were talking about.
Yeah. So I think that's why they're rescuing it from the CW, because they sure as shit are not about to have somebody that represents Jesus and not be Jesus on that type of show.
You can't have Jesus and superheroes on the same network.
Just don't.
Yeah, when you're one of those hardcore
Sit
ones, you're just
down.
like, yeah, that doesn't work for my narrative. I'm like, what is your narrative?
Jesus is my. You know what? Let me stop.
I'm
you for a
like
second.
the chosen one on the CW. I was like,
Oh, Superman. Like,
I don't think it'll make
no.
drinking games for this.
LeBron James.
I mean, they had Chuck, so they've had it before.
Yeah. So it's I have hopes for it. You know, I hope it doesn't fizzle out. I hope this move over to Max doesn't affect them at all. And great show, really. In the way they, wow. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, Zack Snyder ain't got nothing on y'all, do they? Y'all nailed this one.
I still want to take a picture of Doomsday and be like, Snyder fanboys, this is with a smaller budget, and yet it's better. You were given a multi-million-dollar budget, and you gave us Clayface if he was in a microwave.
It was. Let's touch on that for a little bit. Here's the problem with BVS, which is
one of
many. One of the many problems with BVS is it's too many storylines. You have Batman versus Superman, which is the Dark Knight Returns. You have the death of Superman. You have the dawn of the Justice League. You have too many storylines, and then we're not even going to talk about their legs because I'll let James Gunn handle that one beautifully. He did that beautifully. He said what he had to say. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to see my Lex all crazy," and I'm like, "I see what you're doing. It's slightly petty, but I'm here for it." So he knew what he was talking about. Too many storylines. It's just too many storylines. You know, you could have given me just the Batman versus Superman angle. You could have changed your legs, called it a day. You didn't need to introduce Doomsday. You could have alluded to it, you know, because see, now you're dealing with the whole Doomsday thing, and then it's going into Dark Side right after that, or just kind of involved in the whole thing. You got a lot going on. It's actually, the whole thing is beautiful to look at, but hard to swallow. It's just hard to follow that whole thing and just say, okay, you got this going on over here. You got this going on over here. You got this going on over here. You could have stopped with introducing Diana. Done.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they refused to. They just wanted to microwave the situation. So it's like Iron Man, Civil War, Endgame. That would have been a crazy 3 movies back to back.
I was about to say they had 3 full movie plots in one movie.
This is what happens when you try to create a universe in a single movie. It doesn't work.
That's right. They did have Deathstroke. Another robbery of that whole thing.
Oh God, it was going to be so good. That costume was amazing, and the actor they picked for him was amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. Because see, at least at the end of that film, the Lex we got at the end of that film, I'm like, what is he on Adderall all of a sudden? He just
it's like they got the doses right.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm like, he's looking the part. He's on a yacht. He escaped prison. He's calm. He's collected. He's bald.
He's a man with a plan.
Yeah. He's like, we need to come up with a league of our own. And I'm just like,
where were you at the entire film?
He had to lose his hair for it.
I'm like, good Lord, it took you staring at a painting in your cell to figure it out. Is that
right? But that was the thing that was so wrong with Batman vs Superman. Like you said, too many plots, too many stories going on at one time, and it's not epic storytelling. It should be simple storytelling. Start with 1, then go from there. Not 11.
Yeah. Just slow builds. Slow builds. Not a slow burn, just slow builds.
Although it was a slow burn at the same time.
That too.
So
is it the worst of the films of that universe?
What exists?
It's poorly put together. We've seen the worst, unfortunately. by the record, it just hit 210 million globally.
I mean,
so.
yeah, the recent
At
increase.
least made they at least made their production budget back.
Yeah, they're still. You know what?
Worse than Flash.
Huh?
Actually, you know what? I would agree with that. The Flash was a worse movie than Batman vs Superman. I will agree with that.
No, he said the worst.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I took it as.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Out of the entire.
Nah. Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84.
No, that's cringy.
Oh, no, Wonder Woman.
That is still cringy. That
for
is.
me, I get that. I tie that with Suicide Squad.
See, it's there's worse, and then there's cringy. Wonder Woman 84 was hella cringy.
that means it's worse. I didn't make this.
It made sense.
Hard.
Don't get me wrong. Two and a half hours to tell an hour and 30-minute movie was definitely over too much.
That part.
You made her seem like she discovered her powers because she decided to treat her arms like a bird. We applied the flying principle to this.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm like, I don't know how you managed to come out the gate fairly strongly in your first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 800 million. Strong first showing, great showing for a first time theatrical feature for you for that character. Amazing. Let's bump it up a notch. You don't have to hark on the whole we know what the cringy part was with the whole Steve Trevor callback. You could have had that in flashbacks.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. They really made fun of the Keystone that way. It's like, wait a minute, I can create nukes out of thin freaking air, but
you couldn't bring Steve Trevor back.
You
had to put him in the body of another guy. It was.
I don't see him. I only see you. Well, in the case of Law and Order, that's seen as. I'm just waiting for Ice-T. I'm just waiting for Ice-T and Mariska Hargitay to show up. Like, you up with us?
Like, we think you had some problems.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's the DCEU as we know it is severely fractured, which is why the news just came out today that James Wan says Aquaman sequel is a standalone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ties. Like, you're gonna get this story out the way.
Cool.
It's just get it out the way. Let's tell this story.
It sounds like it's
just say that it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And I hate that for Momoa, which it won't hurt him because he got something in the can. Yeah, he got something in the can with Gunn.
That smile on his face. He's like, you know what? I did what I could. I'm just gonna wait my turn. I'm gonna wait my turn on the DC studio side.
Oh, he was quiet for so long until they recorded him taking that phone call, and he was just happy as
man.
It don't make sense though. Like, if the movie is so standalone, it's after their version of Flashpoint. It's not connected to what's coming next. Why not give it the Batgirl treatment? Why are we not?
For starters,
too much money into that, probably.
Yeah, for starters,
they gotta try to make some kind of profit.
Yeah, for starters, that movie was supposed to come out before Flash.
Yep.
Hence, leading to that whole bar scene. But it was such a drop off. Especially after he cussed him out in Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, all of a sudden, buddy, like.
Yeah.
But like Lady said, too much money got invested in it. It's the Flash problem all over again. When Reverse Flash decided to show his head, you were already past the point of no return. Shelving it would be a loss. So you did a dice roll. You said, well, let's throw it out here and see if we can recoup our money. You're not gonna get it.
Here's some other pieces about the Flash that didn't make sense when you look in hindsight. People were asking about, okay, who broke in and killed Barry's mom, unalived his mother? Well, we know his fans who it was. And he was like, oh, that was going to be for the sequel. Dude, that should have been this movie.
That movie.
Absolutely.
Because you mean to tell me that Barry, at 8 years old, never once thought about who did it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dad still went to the store, You didn't see anybody running out the house or down the block. I'm assuming you have a fenced-in backyard, so none of that was weird.
It was.
Like,
It was cool.
I bet you they were just trying to save it, like you said, for the sequel, but also because the CW already did it too. So they're trying to go maybe a different route,
But
even though it's not fooling anybody.
if it works the first time, you just keep doing it.
I mean,
if I can get to point A and B in 10 minutes, I'm not gonna go through A, B, C, D just to get to the same point in 20. It's the same formula. Use it again.
Just feel like, we're gonna write the story. We are not gonna be worried about details. that's how I felt like the script writers did with the Flash. We're not gonna worry about the details. We're just gonna hit the high points. We're gonna show Keaton off a lot. We're gonna show Supergirl off a lot. We will not accentuate Barry as much.
And then that's the other thing. A lot of the news they were talking about with Supergirl, they were like, "Oh, we were going to do it based on the success of the Flash. We were going to do a Batman Beyond." No, you should have just done Batman Beyond. And then you're saying, "Yeah, we were thinking about doing something with Sasha Calle too as Supergirl." I'm like, too late. Gunn is already taking that baton and figuring it out because y'all weren't moving. You bet all your money on the wrong horse. Just say that, and you did it more than once.
and then try to make it seem like I want to know, because technically Hellspawn cosplay beat me to this. All those people that got to see the movie and said, quote unquote, this was the greatest superhero movie ever made. How big was the checks that they gave y'all to say that BS?
That part.
How big was the check?
There's a pattern you have to look at when it comes to any film, not just superhero films, but any film that comes out. When they come out and those numbers don't hit strong, those first 3 to 4 days, that weekend, whatever, and they start saying stuff like, "See the film that everyone's talking about. Look at what all the critics say." It's always that one. It's always that commercial where it says, "Critics are saying that." I'm like, we don't listen to the critics
at all.
Like, we've grown to that point. We don't listen to the critics anymore. It was just like, yeah, y'all did this with the Hulk, and we've seen how that turned out.
I mean, as a critic, you're getting paid to hate stuff as a critic. I mean, that's all you get. You literally, I mean, not only the fact you get to go see movies for everybody else, your job is just to hate it. That's it. I mean, whether you hate it or like it, hey, check cleared. It's like going to see any Justice League movie. Oh, this is great. I'm lying through my teeth, but my check is cleared.
I can't wait until we are there. Like, I can't wait to take hush money to talk about a film, because I'm gonna say.
No, absolutely not. I can't. I can't. Will, I can't do it.
I don't know how big is the check. Everybody got a price.
I'll take the money, but I'm still gonna talk shit. I'm not. I'll take the money.
I'm one of them. I'm like you, Lady Mandalore. I'm like this. Oh, it's the greatest thing. You're gonna have to watch me on camera.
It's the greatest
thing
ever.
We'll be in between.
Greatest.
Kira gonna have to learn ventriloquism, because that face was great. They're saying stuff.
Just have to really.
I'll be either that, or I'll be like in the background, like when they're interviewing everybody on the red carpet, and I walk by.
Y'all gonna mess the money up. They gonna ask, what did you think about the Flash? Like, I could not believe my eyes.
I like that. One that could be so multi ways of thinking about it, but you're not lying. Absolutely.
It's a one of a kind.
You will not forget it.
Never have again.
The visuals will have you amazed.
You won't stop talking about it.
Yeah, there you go. It is a cooler moment. Yo, I think we on a roll on this one.
Okay.
No, I don't want to sell my soul. I don't want
to. Truth. It's just how you interpret that truth.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I see what you're saying. We can't say it's the best thing ever.
No, it's like you can sit there and say it will have you on the edge of your seat. Why? Because you'll be ready to walk off.
Walk out the door.
There you go.
It's over. See how that works?
It was like, Fury, you said this and have us on the edge of the seat. I said, were you ready to leave? Yes.
There you go.
I got paid and I didn't lie. Everybody's happy.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, hey, cut the check. Everybody got a price.
And
There you
this
go.
is why I have my rating system. IMAX matinee. What the hell did I just see?
I'm learning that too because I really do like going at late at night, but with these last couple of weeks having back to back, matinee's been my best friend. You are
June
right.
June has been a beast.
Mhm.
Good Lord. The wallet is like, please, sir, I can't take any more.
Mhm.
Let's take no more, Captain.
You have no more passes, Lord.
I hate to be the pessimist, but enjoy the rainfall. The desert is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's facts.
Yeah.
This
Indiana
time next
Jones
year
is
it's going to
weekend.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Because I try to keep up with the strike. I'm like, oh, and yeah, we're still going. All right.
Yeah.
Because it's what this is month.
What, 8 weeks?
Mhm.
Yeah, month two.
Yeah.
Month
But
two.
but it's weird that I forgot what group just negotiated their contract and got it done in like less than a week.
The Directors Guild.
Thank you.
It was
Less
the
than a
Directors
week.
Guild.
So directors can figure it out and get their stuff done, but the rest of Hollywood, you're on your own. But
Can't mess up that James Cameron and Spielberg money.
I never understood that. Directors can get it done. Directors can get it done in less than a week, but writers, the lifeblood of everything. Yeah, we're just.
That's always what it is, though, in any business.
Yeah, it's like this. It's the clicks. It's the
Mhm.
clicks.
I treat it this way. I used to sit there and I remember one time when I heard a bunch of people complaining at Five Guys. I'm like, look, if all of y'all leave, this place just shuts down.
Listen, don't mess up my lunch.
I've
All right,
I've seen, look
let me
here.
figure that out after I get my sandwich.
I've seen it happen.
I was like,
I've seen it happen.
look, Kira, I'll be the first person behind the grill. Like as soon as they leave, like, well, shit, they ain't doing anything. Just
I always did want extra roast turkey on my sandwich because they was always holding back.
Let me throw some extra Cajun season on these fries. Let me show them how to really season.
Yo, just leave the door open, my guy. I'll hit the grill. Let me make my own. And if you let me make my own burger, I'll flip a burger. Just leave the door open. I won't fuck up nothing.
Just walk around on out the back.
I mean, it's only been a while. I remember my days at Burger King. I used to know how to do it. Come here, just look at the grill.
I was a KFC girl. I couldn't do it.
Dogs all over here.
It was rough.
I did rallies. I did rallies, and I was just like, you know what? After about a month and a half, I'm like, yo, this manager here, he gonna catch this hot. He gonna catch this hot spatula. I'm just saying.
I mean that now. White Castle
The hot spatula or the hot grease?
The hot spatula. I had a.
You can eat a bag.
I had a spatula sitting on the griddle, and my cousin was working the window, and I was just staying ahead, because we was lunch rush. I only had three. I was just 3 burgers ahead. They were sitting on a warmer. They weren't even cooking, and he was always barking at people that worked the griddle. And it was him. It was always people that worked the griddle and people that just worked the griddle. He never messed with nobody that did the windows or the register. And one dude got pissed. He's like, it was time for him to take out the trash. He told him to take out the trash. He took the trash out and never came back in.
Yeah.
And then I seen it happen again that same week. That following week, he was talking crazy to me. And I looked at my cousin. She did like this. She knew. She knew.
Death was coming.
She was like, I'm like, you know what? I got like an hour left.
I had some good times. I had some good times.
I'll be at the house later, cuz.
I can't say that. See, all the stories I have from my old job, Burger King, like watching a pimp and his associates come in, and then they're all taking orders, but that nobody's not saying anything. This dude had on the loudest blue suit I've ever seen in my goddamn life, and there's 11 associates, 7 of them named days of the week. I kid you not.
That's how you keep your rotation straight, sir. What's the problem?
I was still laughing because they were answering. He goes now Monday. What you want? Well,
You gotta
Daddy, I mean,
differentiate.
all of them call them Daddy. So it's like Monday, Tuesday, what you want? Well, Daddy, I want a
Oh,
number
no.
this, number
Oh
this.
no, Will.
It's
Oh God, mayhem is what's to mayhem.
No, I got like you said. He walked in with 11 people,
Yeah, 11 people.
so it's only 7 days of the week. So what was the other 4 names?
Memorial Day, Labor Day, Christmas, and Thanksgiving.
The messed up part.
But it has
is-
to be a number one. It has to be a number
There
one.
was actually one named Kitty P.
There you
And
go.
I mean, he said it exactly like that.
And a D.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Kitty P. Like, Kitty P, what do you want? And I'm just sitting there like, this is just awesome because all of them were sitting there just waiting to take their orders. And he's looking at me like, well, which one do you want, boy? Huh? Which one do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, what you
So-
mean?
And
This
in
guy
other
is
news,
dark.
no, Jesus. In other news, as we announced earlier this week, we have a new Superman and Lois for the new Superman and Legacy film.
Mhm.
And some of the fans were divisive.
Some.
They were very divisive. They were calling when you got Henry Cavill, but your mom said you got Henry Cavill at home, Henry Cavill light, great value Henry.
Nixon was relentless.
Nixon.
Nixon.
Me and him gotta talk next
I will,
week.
I will never get into a roast game with Nix ever.
Oh no.
I thought I could roast people.
Hey,
Nix,
Philly. Them
Yep.
Philly cats. Okay, nah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Nix
so
was roasting the
I called him and I said, Nix, calm down. He was just like, he said, generally I use my powers for good, but I couldn't help myself.
What lie he said?
I was just like, well, we'll go right ahead. And
Right.
Hellspawn didn't make it any better. He shared a screenshot and like, boom. He'll circle it. And I'm like, oh God, Nix.
they were relentless. I was
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. It was funny.
I mean, after the submarine, we knew we had to have a new victim.
Jesus, they still on this damn submarine. They still on it.
Somebody made a music video.
Somebody made a Hot Wheels
Oh no!
and a
No,
Transformer.
Transformer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Transformer.
and they sent it to Hellspawn. He was like, "Y'all got to stop sending me this stuff."
I'm like, a music video of a guy like, I'm on a submarine. I'm like, bruh, you made this with Windows Paint and you had the nerve to put this on the internet.
Yeah, it was bad. Good news. Damn good news. Looks like Black Jesus is coming back after all. Jonathan Majors has produced or at least his legal team has produced news and footage and proof that he did not assault the ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
The Uber driver has already made the statement. They have the video. They actually arrested her for assault. He's the one that wanted to take it to trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You got clear his name.
Yeah.
Prowess in the building. Yeah, the video's got to stop.
I mean, yeah, the man's got to clear his name. At this point, he's like, well, because we were wondering what Disney was going to do. They didn't want to.
Oh, they're ready to move forward.
Yeah,
No sooner this strike lifts, they're just like, all right, we can do it now. Because
And they
from a
still might
legal
do it.
standpoint, from a legal standpoint, they had to like, and it makes sense in the business sense. They were like, okay, what do we do? How do we move forward? Boom, writer strike. Okay, we got time to think.
It was more of a blessing in disguise. Like, okay, we don't got to pull that trigger just yet.
Yeah,
That's so funny. Disney might be behind that riot strike. Then think about it.
Oh, not the
The mouse, not the mouse. The mouse is sitting there calling shots. He's just like, look here,
Not the mouse going to the writers like, y'all.
hit the button.
Listen, if it stops after this whole thing clears, y'all can't tell me shit. Yeah.
I would be laughing if to see Goofy go around and just if you stop right, they'll stop doing things. I just can't see that. I cannot see Goofy go.
They're the council that we seen on Secret Invasion. That's what's going on right now.
Y'all are
Yo.
terrible.
Are
Y'all are
you-
terrible.
Oh my god.
Are you a scroll?
God,
Oh my.
See, Donald Duck would be immediately suspect. Just-
as soon as he formed a complete sentence.
yeah.
She says Kane done conquered the
Conquered.
Writers Guild. That's
I'm
what
about
it
to
is.
say, sir.
I thought she said clone. I'm like, clone. I'm like, wait a
Conquer
minute.
the writers. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, let me clean these junkers off right quick. Yeah. And we're back at it.
Oh,
Oh my god. So, but yeah, it looks like Jonathan Majors is coming into the clear on this. He was coming out on the other side. The people who were so quick to jump on board and just crucify his brother, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Like it was, you know who you are.
No, that was
It looked bad.
What was that one? The one guy on TikTok, King Lion.
Yeah.
That man.
Kept
said,
receipts. Kept receipts.
Oh, you think I forgot? You think I forgot? He had. I'm like, this man. You know what? For a man,
King
that
Lion
like,
reminds me of, remember Jane Silent Bob Strike Back when they had that, they printed off
Yeah.
all the people that trashed the movie and they went to, they just had all this money. So they individually caught airlines and went to their houses to beat them up.
Yeah.
Eddie, I like it.
That's King Lion. King Lion was
No,
like,
King-
oh, I kept the receipts. You
King
thought I
Lion-
forgot?
Told you
King
not
Lion is the definition of prep time.
just
That
wait.
dude is the definition of prep time. He's like, oh, y'all think I forgot? Let me go back to the receipts. And I'm like, he's got 10 or 12 people that were downing in him. It's like, y'all mighty quiet now. What's wrong? What's wrong?
With the tooth floss. He was like, what now? I'm like, he on it. I was like, strap in.
He's like, I got plenty on y'all. I'm like, this dude is the Eisenhower of TikTok.
The Eisenhower of TikTok.
Wow.
This man got records on everybody.
Oh my God. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We're talking about episodes 1 and 2 of the new Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. Just bear with us, and let's just say try a little tenderness next time.
Oh Lord.
I was eating. What commercial? Hi there. This is a commercial break. This is your reminder to peep the podcast on all platforms and drop them a follow. And these are some more popular episodes that you can go ahead and check out after this one. Okay, I think I've bought them enough time for whatever they're doing behind me. Cut it, Chris.
Here we go. This.
Yes, Lainey.
Oh my God. So we are talking Secret Invasion. Been waiting for this one. Me personally, I read that series. First piece of news that they told the cast was do not read the series. Now, before the fanboys and fangirls freak out, there's a reason why they told them that. It's a completely different storyline in comics. It involves more of the superheroes than anything. It makes sense for them not to read that. The dynamic is the same, being infiltrated in high ranks of power and everything else. That makes sense. Go with that, because see, now we got a whole espionage thing. People that, if you like Captain America Winter Soldier, if you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Secret Invasion is in that same vein. It's espionage. It's a spy thriller. It's all of this stuff. It's a broken man. Because Jesus Christ,
Man, he is
Nick
not.
Fury came back, bro. I didn't know he was gonna come back that broken. I'm like, yo, dude, they broke you. Like Dustin, you getting dusted broke the hell out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, valid reason to consider your existence?
Yeah, that is some life altering stuff to be put into oblivion, then brought right back, it kind of messes with you, I guess.
It does.
Like not, and you weren't
He's
technically
out,
you weren't missed. Life
Yeah.
went on.
Yeah, just it's hard, and then
The adjustment.
I mean, he aged. He aged. My God, Nick Fury aged like he had white privilege.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Jesus.
Too soon.
Well,
Be
let me
a
do it
bitch.
too.
Too soon.
Be a fence. So
God damn.
So let's start with episode 1. Episode 1 kind of lays the groundwork for what's going on, what we're seeing moving forward. First off, like I mentioned, we get a broken Nick Fury. You know, he's obviously dealing with some stuff. Like he's been gone. You know, we're not sure how long he's been on Spear, but we know he's been gone for a couple of years, which means he was dusted first, then came back, and then went up in space.
Right.
They sure, I just realized they sure as shit did not show him in Endgame at all coming back.
Pretty much.
And then he was.
No, he was there at the end for the
Oh, he was
funeral.
at the end.
Yeah,
The
at the
funeral,
The
yeah.
funeral, but we
Sure,
never
like-
saw him actually come back when he when he
But I
was
mean, to me, I would not have expected him. He's not a fighter like that would have been able to hold his own in that.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's more or less, you know, take 1 or 2 guys on, shoot them, let's move.
Yeah,
move,
yeah.
You know,
But
that that's what I'm thinking is that he, you know, obviously he got dusted, and then when he brought him back after the funeral,
there was a hellified gap between the funeral and Saber.
Yeah,
that was a hell
because we didn't see him up there until Far From Home,
right,
right,
and that's when we're like, oh, he's not even on Earth. How long has this been? You know, so because I mean, how long has the space station been up there? It's not like it was a brand new thing,
right?
You know, he knew the scrolls back in what 90 was it 92,
92, 93.
Yeah,
you go by 95.
So he knew them then. So obviously, this is something that's been in play already. So you know, obviously he's been up and down, back and forth, back and forth. So I guess them times where we didn't see him, he's off world. I mean, for him to walk freely like that and be in a beach setting that's not really the beach setting,
right?
He's comfortable up there. So I mean, he knows the people, he knows his way around. So
technically, Marvel's ship didn't get destroyed. So
wait a minute. What wasn't Cole? Didn't Coulson have something to? Because it just hit me. Didn't Coulson go to a beach at some point in Agents of Shield?
He was what they call Tahiti, but it wasn't actually Tahiti.
The wonderful place.
But it's triggering. I have an issue.
They had him. He was actually on the. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
actually on the slab.
Yeah,
and that's what they were doing. They were just kind of.
Tahiti was an LMD program.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just kind of keeping him going. You know, looking like why they got him together. He wasn't physically on Spear.
Favor.
I feel you,
Saber,
Kira.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I know because
Something in the milk ain't clean. I don't like this.
It's called squirrel blood.
I don't like this. And they
That's why I
already
like
mentioned Coles. And they mentioned. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why. So obviously we get introduced to Everett Ross. Last time we seen Everett Ross, he was being broken out of holding by the Midnight Angels, aka General Okoye. You know, so and then we see him here. So the first thing my mind is going to is I know you would have went back to work, but how did you get into this? I would have thought you would have went with the women somewhere and been in hiding.
Right.
You know?
No, I'm not gonna front. I didn't remember.
Yeah, so,
I'm not gonna front. I remember.
yeah, so I found that to be a little, but then my questions was answered quickly. You know, turns out, you know, he's a scroll. The whole time he's talking to that agent, and the agent is just like, yeah, this is going on. All these scrolls are here. And he reminded me of Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
When he's doing that whole thing, he was like, there is no Martha. in HR. There's no Carol in HR. Who's Pepe Sylvia? Who's Pepe Sylvia? Pepe Sylvia. They keep telling me about Pepe Sylvia. There's no Pepe Sylvia. And there's no Carol. They said Carol in HR. There's no Carol in HR.
That was perfect because I was like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw that. I'm like, he's like, the scrolls exist. They're there. They're out there. And you just see Everett Ross character like, okay.
He kind of had an eye roll. He had an eye roll moment.
Yeah, but no, that was good. But yeah, it does kind of beg the question because where is Ross at the time? It's already a question of where Fury has been and why has he been fast forwarded as far as aging goes. I mean, the fact that he's rolling around without the eye patch and just with the exposed glass, well, I guess it's called the glass eye. Even more so, it's just like, and Talos is still around, which I love the guy who plays it because
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, him and Fury just have that dynamic. It's like it's not like a love-hate, but it's like we have to work together. But it's, you know what? It's Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It's Lethal Weapon.
It's the Lethal Weapon dynamic. That always works.
Yeah.
The old white guy, the old black guy, they're both one's grumpier than the other. You know.
Man.
Fury is aging harder because of all the stress post snap. He is on the Obama plan.
Damn.
Look at when that man came in the office versus when he left.
Damn, you ain't lying. He had more white hair than white folks.
He did. And then again, it was just like, you know what? I mean, we see it with Fury, and especially in episode 2, we see it with Fury. Like after he, basically shows his balls, and then he walks off. He goes to a secluded area, and he's just like,
now, okay, see, I'm gonna.
This man is stressed.
All right. I think he's stressed, but I think it's because shut up, Chris. Will. I think it's because I've got my conspiracy theories. I think it's because he thinks that Rhodey is a Skrull, and I think he gave him tells that only Rhodey would be able to tell, and he's like, shit. The Skrulls are next to the president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've infiltrated. How do I get through this?
So for those who look, we're talking about it in scene in episode 2, and I'm looking at Rhodey and I'm like, help the brother out. Like,
it's weird. It's weird.
And he's straight government stooge, and I'm like,
no, that ain't.
Fuck you, Rhodey. Fuck
that's the thing is that
I'm not buying it.
The more we watch these episodes, we're always looking for what's the tells between who is Skrull and who is not. And when you look at Rhodey, it's like, wait a minute, this is the same guy who pretty much told Ross to pretty much give him the middle finger in Infinity War, only to turn around and be like, I'm out here cleaning out your mess, dude. And,
like, look how many times you covered for your boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, and he was a known rule breaker.
So
like, what are they going to do? Arrest me? I'll buy my way out.
So I ain't Tony, so I don't get the break because I'm not. My last name ain't Stark.
Right. So in episode 1, we get a shock. We get Gaia. She meets up with her father. Father tells her, yeah, your mom's gone. Like, and she didn't know it. So now she's kind of torn.
Gaia is the daughter of Talos.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it and don't care about spoilers.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching us now, it's like we
gotta be on the point of return.
We're all spoilers. So but they say there's a bomb going on in Moscow, and it turns out it's a bit of a trap. They pull a bait and switch, and how do you say his name? Gravik. Okay. He turns into Fury, and he shoots Maria Hill.
I don't believe that she's dead. I'm sorry.
I'm with you, lady. I'm with you, lady.
I don't believe
There's
it.
no way in hell unless Kobe Smulders like really pissed somebody off. There is no way in hell that
I'm just like, yo,
off like that. No way.
Also, at the same time, they kind of gave it away because they already said she's going to be in 3 other things. So Maria
I
Hill
didn't
is actually going to be in 3 other things. I'm like,
The Marvels is one of them.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. But even if I didn't know that, I'm like, there's no way, especially in this one, because she's so close to Fury, that they're going to write her off like that in this one.
Now,
but
here's
the
my
shock
thing,
value was there though.
and this is the thing. Here's my
I
theory on
wasn't
that.
shocked.
Well, for Fury, that will be a shock.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell who's who. So for
Well,
him and to not be on the inside like that,
But
he barely even acknowledges her death in the second episode. I don't know if he even feels that way.
Well, he is detached. Talos did call it. Talos did call the fact that he was detached because the whole argument was, you knew how of course, the whole thing was, if you really cared, you'd be here. Well, if you really wanted me here, you knew I'd be down here in a heartbeat if you contacted me. So you really had two sides going. You really had two sides going. Like,
that was a hell of a conversation they had on that train.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a conversation they had. I'm like,
that was the realness.
Yeah,
it was good. And the story that Fury starts off is actually a real story from Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
When he talks about, traveling the trains to Detroit and they hide and eating food at the shield. That's a real story. That's from his childhood. I'm like, oh, look at this acting. Drawing from personal life choices and stuff.
Jumping back to Hill, like, they would completely undercut the conversation he had with her mother if she's not really dead. And I feel like, I know the whole thing about this concept in the comics is like, you don't know who is going to be a Skrull or whatever. Like, what they are going to have to do with this series is be very careful playing with death and surprise this person was a Skrull the whole time, because people are already complaining about the multiverse, and therefore you can just get another character out the multiverse. Death doesn't really have any consequences. Certain people already being near death and coming back, and it seeming like it not having consequences. Like, Marvel's going to have to be very careful with playing with us like that, because it could derail this whole series very quickly.
Yeah, but I think if they nail home the fact that it's, you don't know who to trust and who is who, which in the book series it was just that. Yeah, there was no way to tell at all who was who. Strange couldn't figure it out. Wolverine couldn't figure it out. Reed Richards couldn't figure it out. It was like, no matter what tech, magic, or natural heightened senses, they couldn't tell who was a Skrull and who wasn't, because the Skrulls were so ingrained in whoever's role they were taking that they started to believe that's who they were. And so it was just like, yeah, that's Captain Marvel. That's actually Carol. No, it ain't. It was like, but nobody knew. You didn't know until they died.
But that's the one thing I was worried about. Is like, because from a comic book standpoint, Reed Richards did actually create a device to detect who's a Skrull and who's not. But because he's not really been introduced in this timeline,
it'd be too easy. It'd be like a red herring. It'd be too
easy.
It'd
be a red herring. But at the same time, like you said, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying now, to answer to Will's point. That's the reason why I think they're trying to keep it compartmentalized. We're not trying to go into the whole rabbit hole of who's a Skrull and who is not. But if we keep it limited, like we saw in the second episode, you in one room had 5 of the most powerful people that ran the world, and they're all Skrulls.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's all you need was 5. That's why this funny part when Talos is like, you think we need an army to take your world? We only need a handful.
Yeah.
A handful in the right place, and we basically run your planet.
What gets me is their new Skrull general stating that when they mentioned the Avengers, he's like, I'm not worried about that.
I already have a plan. You think I have a plan for that?
There's a plan. And I'm like, now you're like, who the fuck?
Thor. It better be Thor. I swear to Christ, it better be Thor. It better be Thor. That's the only I swear to God. It better be. Oh my God.
You wanted to be Thor?
Yes. I don't like that. Love and Thunder. There is no reason for Love and Thunder. There is no good reason for Love and Thunder to exist the way that it is.
Not the way that existed. No.
Wow.
Nepotism. That's why.
Burn it.
See,
I was here.
so
I was
like,
here for.
knew it.
I was here for Bast and Valkyrie.
Mhm. That was it. And
Bast and Valkyrie.
You didn't really get a lot of either one.
you got one quick shot of bias. That's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you pause and freeze frame it.
Well, see, I had a keen eye because, like, my theoretical ass, I'm sitting up there. I'm like, wait, you're in the pantheon of gods. Hold up.
You're right.
Now I'm scanning the room. You know.
But it does mix. But yeah, but it's going to be interesting how they're going to do this now, because now not Samuel, Nick Fury has literally no friends, and it's almost like he lost a step. Like he played possum with his I guess you can call him his Russian counterpart friend at the beginning, only to actually be taken in and bug the place. But you can tell it's like they're trying to draw a deeper story between him and Graphic. Like we've seen him recruit Graphic as a child, and you kind of have this feeling like Fury really trained him, but you may have trained him just a little bit too well and radicalized him a little bit.
Not to mention, probably upset him.
Yeah. Oh, there's probably a fallout somewhere.
Because when he says, when he says we had a plan in place, if you protect our planet, we'll help you find a new home.
Yeah.
And then they get dusted. Carol disappears. It just goes to shit. The whole thing goes to shit. You know. And Carol has been so busy, basically being a one-man army at this point, because she's just going from planet. First, you had the whole thing with Thanos. She's going to planet to planet, just trying to track this dude down. Because now there's a greater threat at play.
Right.
And so then you got that whole thing. You got the whole thing with her and Monica and her leaving her mother because she wasn't there when her mother passed. Carol got a lot of shit to explain. And really from the standpoint of knowing what she had to do, we're like, yeah, but she really had to do some shit. Which explains her absence. But when you're on the other side of the fence, you're just like, you weren't here. We were stranded. What happened to you? How do you explain that? To where that calms their nerve or whatever. And it's like, we've been down here over 20 years, or 30, 40 years.
Where are you?
And then Fury, he gets dusted and he just completely just drops off the map. He stopped trying.
But it does make you wonder, though. Like Talos said, it's like when you came back and you could have found us, but you stayed up there. It's almost as if like you knew what we were doing. It's almost was it really the fact that he wasn't contacted, or was it really more of a personal choice? Or did he feel like he wasn't the Nick Fury he was when he got blipped?
Did he lose a step? Did he lose a step and have to recollect himself and kind of got caught up in it?
Because it's almost as if the hero of the story doesn't trust himself.
Yeah,
that's what it comes. It's a moment. It's a crisis of conscience. It's like, can I still do the job? Can I still be the person that is? Can I be the man on the wall? So in so many words, not take away from your moniker, Chris.
No, because I took it from him, so don't worry. That's where I got it. The conversation he has with Talos and the conversation he has with Rhodey are probably some of the strongest conversations I've seen in episode 2.
Did anybody get Kevin Hart vibes when he was talking to Rhodey?
Yeah,
it's like just I kept hearing help me.
Smart buy.
It's just like I kept on hearing it the whole time. Help me, nigga.
And he called it. He called out the black. He pulled the black card. He was like, "Look here, brother." And I'm like, "Here's the black card." But he wasn't wrong.
But there was so much realism to that. He's like, guys like, what do you say? Guys like us wouldn't be able to have the power of responsibility because we did not have daddies. We did not have daddies with certain names, with certain last names, or the fact that we're not the guys that would be, would have that responsibility but be totally reckless with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did we just introduce realism and the fact that the fight of the black man in a comic book series? I'm so proud of you, Marvel.
I mean, the fact that Rhodey was sitting up there in front of the UN or whoever, and Slovakia kept looking at him. He's like, a Slovakia turn, and
I kind of feel like it was
Roll
a
their
John.
eyes one more time. I'm gonna put this suit on and I'm gonna carpet bomb.
What is it? Me and Diva Giancarlo Esposito remarked to it. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, we as Americans, we are so concerned with your sensitivity, but that's all you're really gonna get from us right now. I was like, oh damn, that is not a roadie remark, but all right.
That's not very diplomatic at all, Rody.
It's not. It's not. And see, that's what makes me question the conversation even more, is because the way he was talking in front of them, and then the way he's talking to Fury it's almost like I gotta pull this card real quick, but I gotta distance myself, because if I don't see, it's so many ways it can go at this point.
Yeah, it's a lot of angles being played. That's why I was like, I hate to say it, like, dang it, Rhodey's a skull. Why is the black dude? I was like, in my mind, why does the black dude gotta be the skull? And I'm like, a scroll. It's like Rhodey is a scroll. And we all started doing that when we started watching the show. We started marking down who was a scroll and who's not. And I'm like, damn it, Rhodey's a scroll.
I don't think he's a scroll.
Oh, okay. I had another thought.
I like these conversations. Wait till next week when we get dinner.
Kira's on her arts and crafts, and then like every
Shush.
wait.
I think that that scene in the restaurant or bar or whatever, that could also be I can't talk. I'm sorry, I can't talk in front of Massa.
I can't talk in front of them.
So
right.
I'm pulling all this stuff to see how far you can go, because there was the one part that sticks out to me now is him pointing out you can't have is Fury pointing out that they can't have his DNA.
Yeah.
I think that's there's some that was weird.
It's like a half and half type of conversation. Like he's trying to play the role, but at the same time, like Fury is kind of bringing something out of him. He's just like, yo, I'm a little pissed, dude. Like, you just did that. You're calling me out, but I'm trying to help you. You know. So
and also the the fact that he volunteered. So Rhodey might have volunteered so that a Skrull wouldn't come in and kill him.
Yeah.
This is gonna take a third watch.
I can see that, but it's like in my mind, it's like he still had that whole thing of, you know, they're not here for me, they're here for you. We're getting you out the country. I'm like, that seems like a way just to go. It's like you're hoping that his relationship with Rhodey will be like, well, Fury will sit there and go, all right, I got no choice. I'm like, if you expected Fury to go along with that, there's some beachfront property in Ohio I want to sell you, because Fury wasn't gonna leave quietly. I mean, the fact that he had to sit there and show Rhodey right to his face when he broke dude's arm, it's like,
even when I'm out, I'm in, and I'm like, I think my guy back now. But once again, he left that room and he had to sit down because it's a lot at stake. My guy got a lot at stake. There's a lot. Like we said, it's a lot of angles. So where does he go? Who does he go to? He don't know who to go to. If it ain't Talos, hell, when Maria got shot and the dude grabbed him up and was forcing him, I'm like, Nick, why ain't you fighting back? What the hell?
No, I said the same thing. I was like, is he really that out of step? And then all of a sudden, I thought, oh, okay, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, and then like when Talos throws him in there, and you know, I'm like, okay, either y'all played it that way for the fact of, you know, they were snatching up everybody, or I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to think Nick that for, like you said, Lenny. I don't want to think that Nick's that far out of step. I get that he might have a lot on the line, not a lot of places to turn, not a lot of people he can trust, not a lot of people he could trust even before the Skrull situation.
Yeah.
You know, this line of business, trust is very freaking limited,
man. But at the same time, it does make you wonder: is he going to open the door? Because I'm like, because I was trying to think of two people, and I don't know if these two people are going to be in the Secret Invasion just because they were in the comics. But if they are, then there's a tie-in to another Marvel character that hasn't been introduced yet. So Not sure if they're going to pull that trigger on the Russian yet. I would be surprised if they did.
Mhm.
But like you said, who's his out? What allies you got left? You burn Rhodes. You kick Talos off the train, which I thought was interesting. You kicked the Skrull off the train. Maria Hill is still considered quote unquote dead. Everybody that you know is in different parts of the world, and you don't even know if you can trust him or not.
And he said it. He's like, we can call your Avengers friends. He's like, nope. We're not bringing them in this. Which is, at least on Nick's side, is a smart move. Like now you're bringing you bring in a super powered being into this whole plan, and what happens if a Skrull gets the upper hand?
Fair point.
Now we got a bigger problem.
As a super powered god does Thor as a Skrull. Yeah, that's a problem.
So let's talk about the super powered angle.
Wait. What?
Wait a minute, but they don't have their powers. They can look like them, but they don't.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No,
They can't have powers yet.
they can't have the powers yet.
Yeah.
But we do see where Gaia is fishing around on the computer. It's like, IBM. I'm like, how do you get all that? That's an IBM. Okay.
Facts.
But we do notice that there are several beings that they have on their database. Groot being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Groot was number one. One of the Jotunheim frost giants.
Yep.
Or at least a Groot.
A Groot.
Not
A
the
Groot.
A
Oh,
Groot.
a Groot.
Not a D Groot, but a Groot.
A Groot. One of the frost giants.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Obsidian, because he left his hand every fucking where.
Man,
Once it got chopped off, it was just sitting there. I'm like, y'all don't. Who brought y'all that? Damage Control. Damage Control had to bring y'all that. And then it was a fourth one they showed.
the Extremis virus.
Extremis. So, what's going on, RA? So so this may be the MCU's version of a Super Skrull, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, the Super Skrull was generally someone who had, and at the time it was one. They had the powers of the Fantastic Four. As we know, in the Secret Invasion line, we got a couple more of them. Black Panther actually took one down single-handedly. Badass moment. And then him and his wife took down an entire armada. Another badass moment. Go read that series. Sent the ship back in Skrull blood and said, "Don't ever invade Wakanda."
Pretty much.
I was like, they may not work as lovers, but they damn sure work great on the field.
You talking about disrespectful? That was a disrespectful ass whooping.
Oh yeah. He was like, "Don't you ever." So, I think this may be their version, and this is what I like about the MCU is some of the changes that they make make complete sense for the story narrative. I've said it about the Ant-Man angle. I've said it about several things. Even with Hank Pym, in the comics, Hank Pym has like 8 degrees, and he's the one that created Ultron, and that's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
There's a lot to handle. Same with Black Panther. He's got all these degrees. He's like the 7th smartest man in Marvel Comics, and that's a lot. Of course, you would have to make his sister like the scientist, and he's like the muscle, or he's smart, but he's still the muscle, but his sister is the scientist. That makes sense. So the narrative of them possibly doing this as a Super Skrull situation, I'm okay with, because these things have been on planet Earth. The Extremis virus from Iron Man 3. We don't like talking about that.
We don't talk about 3.
We don't really talk about 3.
No,
It's a Christmas movie, though.
It is a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
But
You can't talk about Christmas.
I mean, we give Harley the respect, but potato gun and all. Whatever. Cole Obsidian was in the middle of was right there in front of Doctor Strange, around the block from Doctor Strange's house. So that whole battle went down right there. The Frost Giants. Were the Frost Giants ever on Earth?
Yeah, he showed
Yeah,
at the very end of, I think it was the first or second
The
movie?
Dark World. Dark World.
Yeah.
Oh, with the Dark Elves.
Yeah, because the Dark Elves and the portal jumping. So that's the only time the Frost Giants have ever been on. I have actually been on planet Earth.
Because we
It was the frog.
Because we don't talk
big
about
thing.
Dark World.
Remember in the post credits, it's just like some big giant dumb, I don't know,
The
dog.
one that, like the one that was on because it was like the slight crossover they did with Agents of Shield, and it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because we don't really talk about Dark World either.
They didn't actually
Pretty much.
resolve.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be. You know what? You're right. That could be from that world.
That we got it off of Earth, but maybe Skrulls or like Hydra or somebody just contained it in like it's in Area 51 somewhere, and they were just like, let's poke it with electricity and see how it responds.
Yeah.
Sounds like a damage control thing because they
Yeah,
really started having their.
They did have 40 years to play with stuff, so
True.
I'm like, I mean, the way he made it sound like he said, I had none but time as I planned this. I was like, what happened to you that turned you so hateful, sir? And I'm like,
That's going to be something because we get introduced to him when he's very young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, he pilots a ship and he makes it there on his own. I'm like, yo, you a badass at a very young age, you know. And as the Skrull that was talking to Fury, and I'm like, you sound like you have sister in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that bone structure too. I was like,
Yeah, it was. I was like, it's giving
Yep.
sister right now,
Something-
and I'm like,
nah, you black.
right. So
Absolutely.
like, yo, y'all's conversation is really intimate.
In home.
And
At home, yeah, you know. And I mean,
Well, you know, when you hear Vara, she's missed you. I was like,
yeah.
you missed
I mean,
him?
I mean, if it worked for Captain Kirk, why not? I'm just saying, you know.
When he said there and said, I'm like, missed him with what, a bullet? Who Fury loving on? I was like,
Yeah, because when he I had to watch it again because when he said it, I thought Talos meant his wife.
Yeah.
You know, his wife, like, you know, because that's who he knows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, wait, that's not his wife. Wait a minute, you know.
And
So, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you. That ending, and we.
what did you say, Kira? Because you said something.
That
What
ending.
did you say? You're supposed
I mean, I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, what?
Yep.
I'm like, I didn't know if I was more confused that Fury's married,
Oh, he was
Or
up.
the-
He was with the.
but he's married to
To
a
a-
Skrull.
to
You
a
know,
Skrull.
Yeah.
I'm like,
a Skrull with natural black hair. That's the part that killed me. I'm like, out of all the faces, forms she picks, a black one with natural hair, and I'm just like, and with the
Will?
sass to match.
Will?
And I was like, hold up. Don't get the wide eye. Think about what I'm saying just now. The fact that she didn't really have. Wait, Kara, why are you doing the whole zoom in thing?
I'm waiting.
waiting for you.
I'm
to say
waiting.
it.
I know, it's like they're
I'm
waiting for me to
watching your
snap,
words
and I'm-
closely, sir.
It's like they're waiting for me to snap, and all I'm sitting there saying is, are we surprised about the fact that Fury's married to a Skrull, or the fact that the Skrull literally picked something that was equally natural to them?
So I'm glad you said that because I'm going to quote.
At that statement,
I'm gonna quote
I
Kara
don't know
Horn,
if
aka the Blur Girl.
if you can clean that up.
Yeah, wait. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna help him out. I'm gonna help him out
How you do? Okay.
as best I can. So Kara
Okay.
Horn, aka the Blur Girl, stated that she says Priscilla came from an oppressed race of people from another planet in an asylum and chose to appear as a Black American woman with natural hair. I have questions. My thing is, for me, I'm like, she's probably realizing just how much alike our people are.
Okay.
So why not? You know, I feel a synchronicity with Black people.
That's why I'm saying I'm not against it. I was just surprised when I saw it. I am not against it at all.
I don't
why
know.
you should be
I don't know yet.
I mean, I'm for
First
it.
off, wait, we're not surprised. Wait, so the whole thing about Fury coming in, and then she looks at him and goes, "Are you forgetting something?" We've all heard
That was a black woman right there. That was a black woman.
woman's
Oh, hey,
response
that
right
was,
there.
yeah.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
forgetting something? And we as black men gotta be like, shit.
Tighten up.
yeah.
That part.
Tighten up.
And then at the same time, he's like, oh, he doesn't apologize, goes to get the ring, and does what we all do.
Yep. puts it on.
It
I
should
was
be
just
off.
like, I'm like, yo. And I'm like, okay, he's a super spy. This is nothing normal. This is nothing out of the norm.
I thought
That's
it was
one
clever.
thing. But he's married? I was just
That's the part I was like, I kept on saying to myself, there's got to be an angle. There has to be a cover here. Because I'm like, are you playing a role? Are you, is this, I was thinking to myself the whole time, saying, nope. He hugged her like he ain't seen her in a few years. Like, just come here for a second. I don't even want to kiss. Just let me hug on me. I just need this right now. I just need this embrace for a second. Then
so now this is the question. We've seen a broken Fury, but is he really broken? Or is it because he was missing his wife?
Hey.
Little column A, little column B.
Like, okay, you got dusted. You were gone for 5 years. According to your wife, unless she got dusted too. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You come back. We don't know if she was on Saber with you or not. We haven't gotten to that part of the narrative yet. But we do know you were missed.
Yeah.
Apparently, you guys have been apart somewhere for a duration of time.
And there's a story there. That's the thing.
You had to have had contact with her. It was probably just limited.
Yeah.
And with whom, because you may not be able to directly do it. So it may be through whomever. Because that whole, like, once again, that conversation that him and Talos have on the train.
Like, Talos was the medium. Like, Talos was literally the middleman. Like, you can tell the fact of how he was trying to relay stuff.
Yeah.
He almost everything short of, like, you need to go see your wife. That's what I got from that. It was almost like you really need to go see that person.
Now I'm gonna watch it again.
This is what I love. All the Marvel series, these Disney Plus series that they had, deserves more than one watch.
Yeah.
It's layered. They're just very multi-layered, and there's a lot that's going on. Whether it's What If, whether it's Loki, WandaVision, Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier. And even She-Hulk, just for the comedy aspect of it. And now you getting Secret Invasion, and you're just like, it's a espionage, it's a thriller. You want to understand, like, what the fuck is happening?
Pretty much.
The fact that people are saying, oh, it had the lowest viewing, and I'm like, you know what? That's because it's not fatigue. It's the fans who were fans of the films that are falling off. Oh, we're tired of it. Oh, give us something new. Or
if it's not a known hero.
Yeah,
you
ain't ready for that conversation. Yeah, you can't have that conversation with us. You ain't. If you ain't on this train, then you need to get off like Talos did, because you can't. You have no authority here. You got to stick it in. You got to stay with it.
Isn't that wild though, that that when we want to tell other stories that aren't involving superheroes, that people immediately think that they're not being viewed as much as the Marvel movies are, or how certain shows are, that it doesn't do well. And I'm just like, there are some Marvel stories out there that aren't superhero based,
right?
That are actually great.
Hawkeye is a fun series.
Yeah.
And what makes it fun is when Yelena shows up. Like, before at this point, you're just waiting for Clint and his story.
Yep.
But when Yelena shows up, oh, we got a different ball game now.
That was still funny. Would you like mac and cheese?
With hot sauce. And I'm like,
you're just trying to kill me. But with
Yelena, you might be on to something. I was like,
no.
I'll try it. Not box mac and cheese, but I'll try it.
Actually, sriracha mac and cheese ain't half bad.
Yeah, so I'll try it. I won't hate it. Here, Lady Mandalore is not a bucket of spaghetti, all right?
And she sold balls. I'm like, first off, it was delicious. So I'm never gonna apologize for that. But no, it's the whole idea of just that, like I said, a different story. And so when we get to Secret Invasion, it's like, oh, well, are we going to see any of I said, it's 6 episodes. But in those 6 episodes, we're still going to get a great story. But you're either one of two type of Marvel fans. You're one that just likes the superheroes based on their powers, and the fact that you're just in the powers of superheroes. If you are, cool, that's on you. But if you also love that and storytelling, great storytelling, we've already seen it in 2 episodes. Secret Invasion is going to be good for you too, but give it a chance.
These are probably the same group of people that looked at Falcon and Winter Soldier and was like, "Oh, this is boring." Well, that's because you're not used to seeing the espionage side of things. Mm-hmm. This stuff goes on in their comics. This stuff goes on all the time.
And to get the Carl and to get the Isaiah Bradley story.
Oh,
the
that
story
was
political intrigue. Yeah. Shit, y'all sat up here and was raving about Jason Bourne, raving about Mission Impossible. These are political intrigue type films.
And we got Baron Zemo dancing. The most requested scene in all of Marvel, and all you wanted was a dude just doing this the whole time. That's it. That's all you wanted.
That dance goes with every rave song that's in Blade. Period.
But also the Baron
and John Wick. It was just like
between that and the line that he gave, the defending Marvin Gaye will always stick with me. He's like
Marvin Gaye.
He's like Trouble Man could capture the essence of the struggle of the African American in 1960s America. This motherfucker, he right though.
It's like I was sitting up there. I was like, I hate you. I was like Falcon. I'm like, I hate you, but he's not wrong. I was like,
it's like you want to call him out, but it's like he ain't wrong. But again, shows like that. We're great. So that's why I'm like Secret Invasion, give it time because I still want to see what Khaleesi does. I think she's gonna be a turncoat.
Not Khaleesi.
She will always be Khaleesi.
She's always
She will always be Khaleesi to me.
Mother of Dragons, yes.
No, Khaleesi.
But you're trying to compare this to like a Jason Bourne or a Mission Impossible. The problem is one, white protagonist. 2, they don't make any sort of qualms about who the other is. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is the good guy. Everyone he punches is the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Clean, clear, period. But like, I rapped with Kira on her show. Like, I felt like this was going to be a challenging show for people because it's like, 1, the politics of it. But 2, we dealing with all that shit people don't really like talking about once you're unclear of like whose side you actually stand on. Mm-hmm. When it comes to refugees and radicalization and terrorists and what makes a terrorist and who can be a terrorist, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And then in episode 2, we get into the plight of the black man, the upward mobility of black men and black people in general, and the struggle to maintain power.
The day before they undo affirmative action and all of that too.
Exactly.
Timing is impeccable.
To pull a devil's advocate, isn't that basically what X-Men 97 was? Just very light in how they did it.
Yeah, they came with colors and bang and shoots and
they did. But it's the fact that Secret Invasion went harder than that. But it's not something we're not accustomed to.
No, what I'm saying is like. You're talking about X-Men 97, like cool. Like let's say it is the whole allegory of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. What they do, they wrapped it into white faces and made superpowers and bang. That conversation between Rhodey and Fury, there was 2 men at a table having a conversation. There was nothing wrapped to make that more appetizing for the audience that it wasn't speaking directly to.
The damn show spoke to us.
Yeah.
Argue that. No,
it damn sure spoke to us because when he was like, when we get in positions of power, and I'm like, when we wrestle, he said, when we wrestle positions of power and hang on to it, I'm like, I'm with you.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I'm with you. Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You ringing that bell, baby. I'm here. So let's do it.
That's another reason I think Rhodey's not a Skrull, because I feel like his response, even though we might not necessarily like it, is equally valid. Because like, if one of us could be in a position to just sort of clean Clarence Thomas's clock right now,
yeah,
I
He's being a
volunteer as tribute.
black man in a position of power.
I
Yeah,
will
the
take the
first
hit
era.
and be like, y'all welcome, because I couldn't stand them. Take them.
Man,
Take me away.
Everybody wants to hit Uncle Ruckus right now.
Nah.
Everybody wants to hit. Everybody would love to knock out Uncle Ruckus right now.
Every time I see that dude, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they need to change that law. Like
Man,
y'all keep the
Yeah.
positions forever. That's
Yeah, no.
that's insane.
That's too long. That's way
it
too
really
long.
is.
So I think what we have in this series is and Will, you hit it on the head. Like, this is a conversation, and it happened with Falcon and Winter Soldier. These are conversations they're not ready to have, but these are conversations that are being had.
And it's beautiful.
It's clearly from an entertainment standpoint, it's clearly black and white. We know that. We see it. Like, even in Falcon and Winter Soldier, when he literally tells those politicians, you can pick up a phone and feed millions of hungry people with just a phone call, or stop a war.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem?
You gotta do better.
Like, what is the issue? Like, you know, and he's calling, and it's the same when Fury is talking to Rhodey, and he pulls that, he basically it ramps up.
Yeah.
We know what the conversation is. It just ramps up.
Yeah.
And he was just like, help a brother out. It was like, you owe me. I owe you. Who hasn't had that conversation?
But that's what I'm saying at that point. That's why I'm like, that didn't sound like the Rhodey we know. Like, the Rhodey we know would have been like, look, there's levels to what I can do, there's levels to what you can do.
Yeah.
That's the Rhodey I'm used to.
It makes it, and it makes me, this is why I have to give it a third watch. It makes me really look at that conversation a little differently now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, at first glance, I was like, fuck you, Rhodey. Fuck you. But dude needed help, and like, whatever. And then you turn around and you hit him with, you're fired.
See, I would have respected Rhodey if he sat there and said, I left something for you at the table, and had a note or had something that said, you know, go here or do this. I could have at least respected that. Even though it's too obvious. I get it. But like I said, when you go back to the whole dialogue felt like one person was talking to a brick wall. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like one person trying to hold on to a position. It felt like one person talking to a brick wall. It's like, you don't understand. It's like, you don't understand the mess you caused that I have to clean up. And at the same time, I'm the only friend in the world you've got left. So I'm like,
and now that you said that, I think he is stuck. Mm-hmm. I think he is the only man on the inside that isn't
he's not he hasn't been compromised.
Right.
But he's in a position where he's like, I need to hold this position, but not for the reason you're thinking. I need to hold this position so we can have the leverage.
Yep.
And I can still help you out. Because if I jump into this feet first or head first,
I'm a dead man too.
But with that also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But even when I'm out, he says it pointedly, I'm in. Like I think that was him telling him, I know what you're telling me. I understand. And then that scene after that of him being fuck. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
I hope the writers are this smart. I really, really do. I don't know if I'm giving them too much credit because the things they've been writing.
But it does suggest something. It does suggest that either A, Rhodey is a scroll, or B, he's aware, but he can't give up his position.
And it's not for the reason that you see it on face front, on face value.
Yeah, it's not self-preservation. It's like, if I sit there and let them know that I'm on to them, then I just basically made myself a target.
That makes sense, because when he was in front of that council talking, and the way he was talking as we would. If she rolls her eyes one more damn time, I'm gonna put. And then the conversation, and then like shortly after that, like when he's on the phone with him, he's looking around. He's like, okay, I know you've seen me, you here. But then when they meet up, they have to have this very poignant, very stark conversation, and it's almost like he switched gears for the same exact reason that now that I'm starting to think, I can't say or do what I need to help you because there's too many ears and eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know who to trust. Like I
Yeah.
know for a
I'm gonna
fact I
say-
know about this problem. What the fuck you want me to do, homie?
that-
I know I'm good, but what you want me to do?
But
Help me to help you. What
Mhm.
you want?
That's where the maddening part of it is. He says it's almost if he says everything short of I'm in the same hole as you. I
Mhm.
can't say it, so I have to somehow communicate this with you without actually saying the words. I know exactly what's going on, but if like I said, I can't do anything to help you because if I do, we're both dead.
So is it reading too much into it when Nick decides to break the arm or hand of that security detail,
I
and
think it's
Rhodey doesn't even flinch?
I think it's
I
theater.
think he wouldn't
I
have
think
flinched to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't think he would
Like
have flinched to begin with. But what you're saying also when he was like, I chose to fire you too. I don't know. Now y'all got me thinking something else different because I really was thinking he was a scroll. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Me
I
too,
still-
girl.
I
I literally just changed my mind in here.
Yeah, I'm like, now with this, after we get off, I might have to watch this again and just be
This
like,
is getting another viewing because
I'm calling it double agent. Scroll double agent.
Ooh, I got one more thing. Well, I think Rhodey's not a scroll. Fury was concerned with calling the Avengers because the Skrulls could take their form and then not blackmail them, but like make them look bad in public.
Yeah.
Rhodey said when he was talking about carpet bombing whoever, Slovenia. That's terrible.
Slovakia.
Slovakia.
So he still has access to the suit. So he could be War Machine at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Fury's not afraid that he could, as a Skrull, especially in his position of power, like go out there and make Rhodey look crazy. I think that's another reason like Rhodey's not a Skrull. I think Fury is confident that he's not. Otherwise, he'd be more concerned that Rhodey's position as an Avenger and as this, whatever his actual position is, could be tipped at any moment.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point, but
He really was. He's ready to pinch slap that blind. He was ready.
The side eye that was given though is like just one more goddamn.
Because he was saying the right stuff in there. He was like, "You want me to trust files that's from Russia?" And I'm like, "Good call."
Yep.
Damn good call. I was like,
that was a good
That is
line.
definitely 2023 and definitely 1990. Like,
right.
Timeless.
So I feel, and it does. Just talking about it with other people and seeing and just getting these breakdowns it just makes sense. It makes sense to see what's going on, why it's happening, who's who, because we can't have WandaVision again. WandaVision,
everything was Mephisto.
Everything was Mephisto.
I call Mephisto I
see the patterns on the wallpaper, and I was like, "Yo, would y'all stop? You just let this thing play out." It was driving me nuts.
That's gonna be the sad part. When Mephisto finally pops up, we're gonna be disappointed.
Yep.
It's like y'all wanted him that bad. Here he is. So watching Secret Invasion so far, like, because even reading the series, and I go ahead read that series. It's actually a good series. And it does. It puts you in a vein of like, who is who? What the fuck? What's going on? You can't trust anybody.
It's a wild trip down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And the fact that they planted the seed in a movie that people crash and burn quite often. But it did lay a groundwork. It did introduce characters and it did lay a groundwork. However you feel about the movie Captain Marvel, it laid the groundwork. And it said, okay, they're here. Like, they're already here.
See, that's why I was like, I had to go back and go watch the Marvels trailer again, and I'm like, that's the Super Skruller fighting.
Yeah,
that has to be the Super Skruller fighting.
Some variation of it, yeah.
Which makes me wonder: is it going to be tied to Secret Invasion, or is that just going to be a separate story in itself? Because
one thing we do know, they're back up at Saber, so we know that's happening. Because niggas clean cut, got his beard back. got some Bein put in it. You know, he's okay. As far as
Wow, not the Zack Snyder.
do you bleed? Yay. Yeah, do you bleed? You know, you see what the one British consulate did. She went in there. Yo, she was the coolest, calmest interrogator I've ever seen.
So,
She reminds me of
Man,
Olivia Colman.
oh god, Julia Dreyfus's character.
Oh, the Contessa.
Lady Hydra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She reminded me of
She
her.
went in there and she was like, "Okay, so we're gonna do it that way."
Mhm.
I like she did the booty warrior. She did the booty warrior theory on. She was like, "We can do this the easy way. We can do this the hard way."
But why'd you give the flight? Why'd you give the nice flight attendant voice when you said it? It's like
It's
so
very matter of fact, sir.
That was a part of the way.
I have a job to do. I can't be here all day. Tea is at 3. I can't be late.
Sorrows and prayers, sorrows and prayers.
that was
And I knew they were coming, so this is going to be very quickly. So if you do not want to tell me, then I'm going to make you bleed.
that was the funny part. The smart ones always talk fast. The smart ones always talk very quickly. I'm like, damn.
160 degrees Celsius. Do you know how hot?
You are basically
Don't put it on my arm. She's like, whatever.
Your arm.
That's like you are slow cooking your own juices. Just
Basting.
just the whole entire time. I said, I don't know what's worse.
They got rescued, and he was like, got rescued. What'd you tell him? All lies. All lies.
Oh,
bullshit.
Sure. Yeah,
Bullshit.
You know what?
that tracks.
I actually think that he
Cool
didn't tell
story,
them.
bro.
Oh, he told him.
He's
They found
not
her safe
here.
house. He was like, how did they find her safe house? I'm like,
No,
Oh, he's-
Khaleesi. I forgot her name, but Khaleesi was on the phone with somebody.
Yes.
Remember that?
yeah.
Speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
Russian,
I really feel like she was the one who actually said something and set him
She's
up.
already peeking. She's already, showing signs that she's like, okay,
But oh
my
boy,
father is back in my life. I lost my mother. This may not be the fight I need to be fighting. I may be on the wrong side of this fight.
Well, let's be honest. Old boy knew it when he got released. I'm like, you on borrowed time right now.
Facts.
What did you tell him? Lies.
I'd been like, look, what'd you tell them? Look, bro, I told him everything. So we can either do this here, or you can just go ahead and take me out. Because I know I'm not going back to the base.
Because I don't know how long this shit is gonna be in my system, and I'm still struggling over here.
got the janglangs.
Oh my god!
Are you really? Why are you being honest? Because you go off me off anyway. Just
Like, I gotta go through a whole nother interrogation process. Yeah, I don't.
Let's get over it.
Oh, man. So far, like, this is 6 episodes, so we won't be covering episode 3 because we'll be off next week. We'll be at BlurCon. But the following week we come back for our final 2 episodes of the season, and we might be able to get those 2 in because we actually have 3 guests coming on. So for the final, and that's going to be our final episode is July 13th. That'll be episode 150.
Hey.
You want to tune in for that? And then I thought 150 was going to come in season 11, but you know how those plans work. So overall, 2 episodes in. Quick roundtable rating. Start with Lady Mandalore.
I thought you said Lainey. I'm on the fence. I'm still on the fence. It's just, I don't want to be like IGN.
Oh Lord, let's not.
Oh, that was loud. I apologize. That was loud.
Let's not.
It's not. The story isn't coming together for me. There's still few too many holes. I've been let down before with these series, so I think I'm on a 5 point. No, it's 6.3. 6.3.
6.3. Okay.
Yeah.
The France rating.
Yeah.
I'm doing the gymnastics.
I mean, it's still early. It's still early.
Yeah, it's not an overall score. It's just right now. You got a lot to show. You got.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's very early. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's very early to kind of judge it.
Okay.
Because I mean, even with the Raw scroll, I'm like, where's Ross that you were able to do that, or did you just have a picture. Like, do you just
Right.
have a picture? You don't necessarily have to be Ross. Like, you can just say, hey, here's a picture of Ross. I need to turn into him because, of course, he knows where Fury is. Of course, he didn't have to really give up information. You know, he just
Right.
has to play the role.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's not like some of the other scrolls they had down, or some of the other humans they had down there on those machines, which are the same machines that were in Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And how did Talos even find this lone scroll that was meeting in secret? How you find him, homie?
That's a lot. This is what I love.
Not
This is,
close to the camera.
I love this about those espionage things.
I'm just saying, Talos, he got some
Talos got some
training to do.
secrets.
Something
And
else.
I think from Nick kicking him off the plane or off the train, it was more like, I think we just need to take a minute here. Like, I don't think he's cut off because he got off too calm.
Yeah.
He got off too calm. He was just like, you know what? It's a little heated now. You're a little different. I got a lot of questions.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We're
gonna separate right here. You call me when you need me. It's one of those type of things. He's like, I don't hate you. I'm not putting you out in the cold. But right now we can't talk because you ain't there yet.
I mean, hey, could have sent him to another part of the train though. He gotta get off the train.
Weird.
I mean, because he could have easily he could have been easy. Hey, you right over here. Just
I'd have been like, bro, I gotta get off the train.
You know, he could have done it, but he didn't.
It's like when sometimes you know you wrong, like you snuck, well not snuck, but like you let 1 million people into the club, and you supposed to tell everyone that comes in, and you just now letting them know at number 1,000,001.
Yeah, right.
You're wrong.
You know, he's just like, yeah,
that's a big wrong.
Like,
I could at least went 3. I could went 3 cars down. I could went 3 cars down, and still, you could be mad at me, but we still riding this train together.
So he was just like, you know, he's like,
to punch me in the face, like we cool.
Yeah. I mean, Fury was right in the question. He was like, tell me something I don't know.
Dang.
You know, and he's like, well, motherfucker.
See, I hate
I've been
to see
rocking
you.
with you this long. Why couldn't you just tell me that?
In the words of Cookie, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Like, I done sit up here and put my neck out here for your people. But even he was right when he said it. He's like, well, we were thinking that we can coexist. Coexist? We can't even coexist with ourselves.
Shit. It's hard enough living with somebody that you married to. What you mean? What you mean?
He's like, we've been warring with ourselves since the time we can walk upright. Like, what are you talking
Chill.
about? He's like, and we bring in another species. I'm like, these are facts this man is talking about. He's not wrong in his fiction. He was like, I didn't say you couldn't stay in the state of night or something. I was like, look, you gotta understand, we are fucked up down here. This is not where you want to be.
If Jamaicans and Trainees can't get along, it ain't working. It ain't. No.
That's why
Listen, Jamaicans and Haitians can get along.
Yeah, see,
So
we
like,
know what we're talking about.
When Fury said that, I was just like,
got a
it do
point.
be facts though.
Ain't wrong.
It do be facts. We barely making it ourselves. We're like, bring you in?
Barely. Man,
I had a whole team and they all different. You think that was easy?
I mean, damn. You ain't wrong.
They literally had a civil war amongst each other.
Right.
Well,
that part.
Oh
right.
my god.
Whatever, black and
That's
white.
gonna be the triple threat war that Earth never had.
Tafari says, sir, we fight over black and white. You are green. What the fuck you mean? You think it's gonna happen?
You might wind up bringing white and black people together to fight your ass. That might not end well.
Yeah, that part.
Oh, wait till the X-Men show up. Good lord. It was
Never mind. Let me be quiet.
Oh my god. So we get ready to head out of here. We're taking a week off because guess what? We are going to be at BlurCon. Stay tuned. We are going to be at the Kennedy Room July 8th at 8:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it. You know how we get down. So come through, stop through, have a blast, get some gifts. We'll start it off with the sign-offs. We'll start off with Lady Mandalore. She's getting her number 5 together, so I need to get my number 1, my Nigel Uno, situated over here.
I apologize. I'm pressed for time, and my job ain't shit, so I have to sew while I talk to y'all. Yeah, you can find me, Lady Mandalore, on Instagram, under the handle Roomful of Blurs. There you go, right there down the bottom there. I am on also Fanbase, and you can find me on TikTok. TikTok as Child of Mandalore, which feeds into a podcast also called Child of Mandalore, where I talk about the history of Mandalore, Mandalorians. Also, every first Saturday of the month, which is coming up next week, I have an audio chat room on an app called Fanbase, where we basically all get together and do this. I don't know. I never want to know which way to point this.
It took me a
whole
minute.
thing, except it's more people.
It's
and
opposite.
yeah, it's these people. We all get together. We talk about the things that have gone on in the month. Whether it's reviews, ideas, thoughts. If you need a little bit of praise and motivation, we can do all that kind of stuff in there too. I also have a podcast called Room Full of Blurs, which I do live on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on the lovely Opulence Radio on Thursday and Sundays. I've got some other side projects that are coming up that I can't talk about right now, but I'm very excited. It's voice acting work. I'm so excited to do it. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, is it the same one that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Midnight Comics special shout out. How y'all doing?
Yeah, shout out to Midnight Comics. I want to tell them.
Okay, well, it's your show.
Shout out to
So give them yours first.
I will be voicing one of their title characters, the Gray,
Nice.
in their audio animated series. I'm so excited. I can't believe it. I'm going to cry a little bit. I don't want to. Also, I'll be playing Oracle as one of their voice characters as well. So I'm excited.
I wish they did Kermit the Frog right now. Just
So to piggyback on that real quick. Lady Mandalore is the voice of Oracle.
Yes.
I will be the voice of Batman.
nice.
Okay.
So I shot him a real quick. They shot me some lines real quick, and I just over the phone real quick. Not even, in my opinion, best work, but they were like, "Good Lord, that sounded amazing!" And I'm like, Kevin Conroy. So yeah, it wasn't. And then Lady Mandalore told me, she was like, "I'm Oracle." I'm like, we working together again. All right, I'm done with that. Our griot of horror.
Ooh, I love that.
He's great.
And
That's all.
And we were saying Lady Mandalore this Saturday.
Oh yeah, this Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, this
Okay.
Saturday.
It was the odds.
fine.
It was the odds for me.
Shit.
So anyway, I am Lainey. We are Keep Our Husband, Keep Our Heart on YouTube, Keep Our Heart on IG. We are on Twitter, but not really.
The scrolls.
Oh no,
It did it.
Is it bad again?
You're good.
You're fine now.
Oh,
You're fine now. It did it for a hot second, and I'm like, no, not the scrolls again.
Oh, I was about to say I'm on my Wi-Fi from my phone, so it shouldn't be. But I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
I will do it again. So this is Lainey. I am Lainey from Keep Our Heart. Me and my husband run Keep Our Heart on YouTube. You can find us there. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on IG. You can kind of find us on Twitter, but not really. We talk about a lot of geek stuff. All right. Shut up, Sarah. We talk about a lot of geek stuff, but I love to talk about horror. I do TikToks on horror and also talk about it on YouTube and talk about it on blursedeyeview.org, where I write articles about it. So check us out. It's a fun
Please
time.
do. Please do. Please believe it. Please believe me. Who we doing?
She made it past Autobots.
She made it past Autobots. Jesus Christ. All right. We'll be watching the cinematic assassin.
Yes.
The only other character on the other crewmate on the ship who needs a nameplate just as long as mine.
Find me, don't matter what site you're on, at Mayhem Media. That's MAYEHEM Media. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, where I'll do. Forgot what I was talking about. Sorry. Having an extroverted kid hits you all the time. Sometimes. It just,
oh my god.
Yeah, I do film reviews. I do television reviews. I talk about comics. I do skits, and brand new content will be launching the Monday after BlurredCon, so be on the lookout for that. I am a writer for purefandom.com where I talk about trailers. I am a writer for blurredeyeview.org where I talk about action-y stuff. Speaking of which, season 3 of Warrior is coming. If you know what Warrior is,
you're missing out.
On from my presence. Because excellence is chef's kiss.
These Korean shows
are really good.
Yo.
Listen, if you are a fan of watching racist white people get their shit kicked in, watch Warrior. It is great. Can't recommend it enough.
The intrigue is real.
I mean, look how we cheered on every time we watched Django. We're just like Django and Jane. We're just kind of like, yes.
That was an original idea, I believe, from Bruce Lee that he did not get to see to fruition. But Andrew Koji, who you might remember from Bullet Train, he was also in Snake Eyes. Maybe don't think about that one so much, but absolutely excellent. He is somehow doing a Bruce Lee impersonation without being disrespectful and still living up to the hype. It is a great show. I encourage you all to watch it. But getting off of my clearly paid promotion, I'm going to say I cannot stress enough that mental health is important. So be sure and take your meds and take that PTO and whatever else you do in this life. Lean into learning, lean into laughter, lean into love, and we'll make this world a better place.
Right on. Black Spartan in the building.
Yes, it is I, Black Spartan, otherwise known as Black Fox 447. I can be found on almost all socials. I do reviews on everything that I read, that I play, that I watch, and gym stuff because I try to stay in shape while being acknowledged by different religious groups. It's spreading. It's all spreading. Aside from that, I do have a couple podcasts of my own. My news political podcast called How the Frack We Got Here, which is every Wednesday and Saturday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. My video game podcast called Get Bit with my coach Otanello every Friday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All of my podcasts can be found wherever podcasts can be listened to or watched from, especially from Opulence Radio and Always Record TV, as I am with the Fleet, with everybody posting there. I am also one of the many heads of the writing group, the amazing writing group for birdseyeview.org. I actually cover wrestling. Why? Because wrestling is real and people are fake. Shout out to Mr. Kendi for that one. Aside from that, I will say this. If you have not seen, firstly from the anime side, Black Clover movie on Netflix was great. Bloodhounds was great. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, not bad, actually. But aside from that,
it's better than Crystal Skull.
Oh, it's way better than Crystal Skull.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Way better than Crystal Skull. I will say that it is actually up there with almost with The Last Crusade.
Good enough for me.
I'll put it that way. So it was very good.
Good enough for me.
That is
It's a high bar.
Yeah, I watched them all three.
To me, like I said, and I was very critical of the Crystal Skull, but it's up there with The Last Crusade to me. So it is definitely worth watching if you were on the fence about it. So aside from that, the last thing I'll say, guys, is again, we need to be more about promoting others, whether it's a business, whether it's con, because I love the fact I'm seeing so many blurred cons grow and appear, and you're just running with it. Basically, you know, someone that's trying to do something, support them. It takes zero energy to do any of these things. It takes 100% to be negative. Support them the same way you would support Beyonce if she knew you existed. Don't take that the wrong way, Beehive. You know what I meant. Aside from that, guys, I am a very social person. I just have the same rule in life as I do on social media. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool.
Man, 2 episodes left, but we're taking a week off, as I said. However, you can catch me and Lady Mandalore on IG next Monday with Hieroglyphics. We're doing a little game show. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
My man Hyro in the building. If you're going to BlurCon, and you should,
You should.
you don't want to miss us live and in person, July 8th, 8:30 p.m. in the Kennedy Room. It's going down.
Twerking.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that might end up happening. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna.
I mean, head nerds in charge, they pull the gambit every time. I'm like, we're probably second in command at that point. So you never know what happens with us live. It'll be our first live. Who knows? We'll start off with one thing. It's gonna go off the rails. I guarantee you, it's gonna go off the rails. It's just what happens. Watch the show live, you know what's going on. So tune in to us. Come in, check us out, have some fun, get some gifts, have a blast, because that's what we're doing. Also, we'll be back July 11th, live, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, the season finale with special guests. The last 2 episodes, we got guests coming through. You really want to be there for that. Shout out to Roxy Hayes. But you can catch us if this was your first time here. You know how to. You just gonna have to go to the IG. Check us out on IG. Go to IG, Blur's Eye View, and you'll see the link tree in the bio right there, and it'll send you to all the great places you can find us, including Facebook. And you can catch us on Opulence Radio. Check it out. Shout out to Amaron Burnett over at Opulence Radio. She's giving us the charge, and we were leading the charge this morning. You can listen to us every Thursday at Blurred Out Thursdays on Opulence Radio. You can also check us out on television on Always Press Record. Shout out to Travius Lawson for running Always Press Record. You can get Always Press Record on Roku or Amazon Fire, completely free. Check out past episodes, have a laugh, get some insight, get yourselves educated, all that stuff. Shout out to the you said like the lady was like, I work in education. Don't say that.
No, I said I haven't heard it in a long time. My mom
okay. But shout out to our other sponsor, Ultimate Wireless. Go to ultimate-wireless.com or go to on IG ULT_wireless_ENT. Check out Damon Davis over there at Ultimate Wireless. Got all your techie needs. Shout out to the Ultimate Wireless. And we are also an affiliate with Otaku Noir. Because I didn't feel like pressing a button. Check out Otaku Noir, the world's number one leading blurred blind box company. You want to check them out. Get yourself some dope stuff made by POCs just like us. And you can never miss whatever they got in there because they always have some of the greatest stuff. It is just not, you never find anything in their boxes that you don't want or want to even gift to anybody. You want to keep it to yourself. You really do. You can go to otakunoir.com and you can use the disco code Blur's Eye View for free shipping. Discount. Wait till next season, boy. It's gonna be all. You thought this was flash and bang. So thank you everybody for checking us out. You can also check us out on YouTube and check out past episodes on YouTube along with shorts. We got a lot more content coming up next season. Big moves are being made. Big moves are being made. Big moves are being made. You want to be on board for this.
I
We are not here to play games. If you have not been paying attention to what this platform does for ourselves and for people around us, we are the safe space. We are the fun place. We are the place that people want to come to see us. And I am happily obliging. I want you. I want to see you here. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you win. So shout out to all my POC, my blurred creatives that are out there that's putting out some of the dopest content, some of the dopest creatives I've seen in a very long time. Shout out. Go show your support to all the Black-owned conventions. Urban Nerd Con coming up at the end of July. We got the 4C conference here in Cleveland. Shout out to DC and Emron Burnett throwing the 4C conference, the color conference, the content creators of color conference.
4Cs. 4C.
4C.
Because trying to say it 5 times fast, you're gonna mess up.
I got it before DC did because it takes them a while to get it. So but you want to check us out. That's also on July 22nd. And you want to, if you're in the area and you can come up for a couple hours, come check us out. We got some dope people coming on. Crazy 8 the Great is going to be performing. A lot of other performers. Candy B will be hosting. So it'll actually be the first time the original crew's on the stage together. So it's going to be a blast. We always hang out, but it's going to be a blast. Trust me, this crazy isn't just one person. It's kind of all of us. So it's just, you want to check us out. So any J1 Con, Head Nerds in Charge Con, the HNIC Con, I should say, Blurred and Powerful, go show your support over there. Demetrius Holt over there, Hellspawn Cosplay for all the stuff he's bringing to the table. We out here. We're doing the good work. Go show your support for your indie comic people, Midnight Comics, Ace Comics, Concrete Comics. There's a slew of others. There's just so many. But go show your support. They're out there. There's so much out there, and it's much needed. So before we do this, anything we want to say since we're taking a week off?
The 4Cs.
The Content Creators of Color Conference.
Or what Will said.
Or what Will said.
Let's see what Will said. The colorful...
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
The Colorful Coochie Cutter Conference, whatever. I told you we go off the rails, and then here I am, the captain. I am no better.
Your first mate tried to warn you.
Yeah. She was just like, you know what? We need to have a talk. But thank you, everybody that's tuning in. Check us out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Have fun, man, and enjoy what you see. And let us know what you see and tell us what more do you want to see from us. Until then, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and encourage yourself and others. It's been a while I said that. I feel like it's been a long time I said that, and I know I say it.
You say it all the time.
Try a little tenderness.
Opportunity, go punch a Nazi.
There, that. Who's against that? Not me. Until then, we will see you at BlurCon. We are out of here.
Yeah.